Hello and welcome to the second part of our Source Gaming E3 2017 prediction video. I'm your host Nantenjex, and joining me today was Spazzy D, Wolfman and Epic Martin. So this is the second part of our predictions. The first part covered everything Nintendo, and you can find it by following this link that will be appearing in the top corner. If you haven't listened to that already, it's highly recommended you do that first, because this discussion will be talking about everything else that we might see at E3, from Sony to Microsoft to any of the other third-party companies out there. So with that in mind, let's just slide right into here. It really actually depends what day this discussion actually gets released. As we record it, no E3 conference has happened yet, but depending on how quickly I can get this done, this might come out before Sony's, this might come out before Microsoft's. I might cut whatever part of this discussion if it comes out afterwards, but let's roll with it for now. So let's start with Sony, and I'm going to start this off with a really big prediction. I think that Monster Hunter is going to be on PS4. I think that Monster Hunter 5 is going to be a PS4 exclusive and isn't coming to Switch.
I'm not quite sure, because Monster Hunter is big enough, and I think it has enough. I don't know.
See, it's been on portables forever. That's where that's its bread and butter. I can't see them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, right? So the way Monster Hunter works is that Capcom just gives it to whichever company pays the most money. And so it started on PS2, and then it got big on the PSP. But then Nintendo bought it after 2 and put 3 on the Wii, and then it didn't actually kick off properly until the 3DS port, obviously. Monster Hunter Tri. And now that Monster Hunter's really big, I can see Sony, with the success of the PS4, buying Monster Hunter back. And the only reason we got Double Cross on the Switch is because that was already a 3DS title. That's part of the Nintendo thing, so they can release it they can port it to the Switch, but from Monster Hunter 5 onwards, I'm thinking it's leaning to PlayStation.
I think Capcom's more interested in sending it to where they think they'll make the most money.
Yeah, Capcom. Has any Capcom exclusivity deal ever lasted?
What do you mean?
The Resident Evil 4 on GameCube? Oh, wait.
Resident Evil 4 was originally, yeah. I mean, all the Resident Evils. Resident Evil Remake, 0 and 4, and I guess the ports of 2 and 3 were all part of a deal with Nintendo. And then after 4 got released, that deal ended, and then they released 4 on everything else.
There's also the Capcom 5 with Resident Evil 4, Killer 7, Beautiful Joe. All of those got ported. The only one that didn't was PNO3, which was hated and made no money.
But with Monster Hunter, I think with its formula and its engine, they can just keep adding to it and just releasing it as new games. Unlike Resi, where they changed it all the time.
I just don't see them having an exclusive franchise deal.
Here's the deal. Monster Hunter is big in Japan. Japan likes portable systems. I could see them having a Monster Hunter,
even
but I can't see
exclusive Monster Hunter, but not
the mainline Monster Hunters. I feel like that's just a 3DS thing, unless Switch picks up Steam as a system that people use as a portable over there. I mean, you could be right, but I personally strongly doubt it.
Personally, for me, I only think Monster Hunter is going back to Sony if that patented weird portable thingamabob that's been I guess leaked, it actually comes to fruition this E3, and it's just another Vita successor or a portable PS4, even though I don't know how that would work. Then I could see the game going back to Sony.
The portable PS4 you'd wear as a backpack, Ghostbusters style.
This is a Nintendo podcast. I believe we refer to it as Luigi's Mansion style.
I apologize. You are correct, sir.
I think with Capcom and Square, as I said, that they wouldn't get much focus in Nintendo. I think they're going to be announcing their stuff on the Sony line of things. So, I mean, not just Monster Hunter. I could see the focus on Street Fighter. Well, maybe not Street Fighter 5, but Marvel vs. Capcom during Sony's thing. I could see I said about a Resident Evil 2 remake. I know that it's in development. I could see them announce it, show off the first gameplay of it at the Sony one. I could see a new Devil May Cry at the Sony one and a second Dragon's Dogma. Like, this is all stuff that I think is due for a sequel, and I think it's all going to be surrounded by Sony.
They've also got that whole Final Fantasy VII remake that's
and Shenmue 3.
Yeah, which
and
is,
Kingdom Hearts 3.
And World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, everything that they showed off in the last 2 years, they actually need to show stuff from.
Slow down, hold on. Because correct me if I am wrong, but I heard that they already confirmed that Final Fantasy VII, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Shenmue 3, none of those would be appearing this E3. Just like Beyond Good, looks like Ubisoft confirmed Beyond Good and Evil 2 also wouldn't be shown at this E3. All three of those games, at the very least, I'm 100% sure Square confirmed that we wouldn't get anything about Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy VII.
I haven't been keeping up, so
yeah,
I honestly
I don't really pay attention to like the trailers or news information outside of just stuff for Nintendo because of to write for here.
I mean, we'll probably see some god-awful PlayStation VR stuff, which everyone's going to think is great. Dude, whatever happened to that zombie game? This is how bad I am. What was that zombie game that they closed with? I thought it looked like everyone was really excited for it last year. And
Yeah,
I'm like, this is
the
most generic-looking thing I've ever seen.
I think it came out. I think that game came out. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's a very mean way to refer to Resident Evil 7.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't Resi 7. It was it was super generic looking, but I believe I saw a Let's Play of it very recently, so I think it's out. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me. I think
we'll see more God of War for sure.
Oh yeah, God of War. They put that bit. They're currently making that big wall painting poster for an advert. That's going to be their focus, 100%.
Yep.
Just like Mario Odyssey is for Nintendo, God of War 4 for Sony.
And I think another game they're going to show definitely is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last of Us 2, I can see them, at least that could be their ending announcement for the show, the big hype one. They've confirmed that, but we haven't seen anything from it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I could see that. I could see another trailer for the Crash Insane trilogy, or does that come out too soon? I'm not 100% sure when that launches.
I don't know. I think any Crash game is probably too soon.
You know what I'm excited about? We might find out if Death Stranding is a game and not some weird art project. So that's
Hey, Death Stranding looks fantastic, and Hideo Kojima has done enough to earn all my goodwill, and so is Mads Mikkelsen.
I'm just saying, maybe we'll find out what that's about.
What it actually? No, I agree. I want to actually see tangible gameplay, but
we'll never find out what it is. It's gonna be some, Dragon's Lair. It's gonna be Dragon's Lair, but like a newer version of it.
That
and
sounds fine.
You just press a button at the right time to make the guy from Walking Dead do something.
Yeah.
I think the three of you dramatically underestimate the amount of affection I have for Mads Mikkelsen and Hideo Kojima. Dramatically.
I will say this. I think that there's games that we saw last year that didn't really get a lot explained about them, and that would be the new Uncharted, The Lost Legacies will also, I'm sure, have a focus, and that Spider-Man game.
I think Square said that they were going to talk about their Avengers game as well this E3.
Yeah, whatever.
The one they announced ages ago. So...
Isn't that the...
Is anyone excited about that?
No.
Well, I'm interested to see what they could do with it. I mean...
I'll be honest. I'm a fan of Square. I'm a fan of Marvel characters. But for some reason, I'm like, yeah, just show me what it is.
Dude, man, at this E3, it's gonna be hip to be Square.
Ha ha ha.
I would like to account for my silence following that remark.
I think on the topic of Death Stranding, do you think we will see Metal Gear Survival?
I don't think Konami's going to have much of a show presence.
Well, that's like the only game we know that they've got, and they have to talk about it at some point. So it's whether or not they talk about it in Sony or Microsoft's.
I think with Kojima, they're not gonna. With Kojima having such close ties with Sony, they're probably not gonna have as big of a presence.
maybe Microsoft then.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But by the
Which I
way,
guess-
the zombie game is called Days Gone, and that's not coming out till December of this year, so that will also be there.
Oh, okay then. Okay, so it's not out. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Everything they showed last year, none of it has come out.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, Sony really like to show off really absurd new things that won't come out for years on end, obviously. So do you think we'll get anything like that?
Oh, for sure.
And that's, I think... Yes.
What do you think that could
We'll get
be?
nothing else.
They what Sony IP are they going to be throwing at the door?
The Parappa the Rapper revival. Let me believe.
Maybe Vib Ribbon finally.
Maybe
after
a new
that
Gran
tease.
Turismo.
Yeah, could be possible.
I could see that.
I mean, didn't they say
Need
really
for
recently
Speed.
when talking about backwards compatibility and how nobody wants to play old games? Wasn't Gran? No, that was Sony. That was 100%
That was Microsoft,
Sony.
I think, that did that.
And-
They said, okay. I thought that was both, or maybe that was both of them, like at E3 2013. I thought it was a Microsoft person who said, like, if you think backwards compatibility, you're really backwards or something.
Oh, that may have been years ago, but I'm talking about recently because I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo is the game that they talked about during that. Like, I think they were like, oh, if you go back and look at Gran Turismo 1 and 2, it looks really archaic compared to later entries. So maybe that's... I mean, unless a new Gran Turismo has been announced and I've just missed it.
Gran Turismo is such a huge series, too, that they have to show something from that. I don't know third parties. I mean, speaking of Square, isn't it getting close to time for another announcement of a new Tomb Raider?
A new Tomb Raider that inevitably does
there
not
was the
commercially underperforms,
there was the
which
leak.
then...
Remember the guy who saw someone on the train working on a pitch for the new Tomb Raider?
So I mean,
So we know that they had one at least planned. So I can't remember how long ago that was. So maybe we will see it.
So
It depends.
that's the thing with Sony is that you're like, which of these are they going to show the new Assassin's Creed there? Or are they going to show the new, a new Tekken-related project there? Are they going to show a new Tomb Raider there? Destiny 2? Like, you don't know
Destiny.
what third parties are going to have there, or
Soul
who's going to stick
Calibur
to their own thing.
as
Yeah,
well.
Destiny.
Soul Calibur could potentially be there. Well, I guess this depends what they split this between Sony and Microsoft. I think most people lean towards Sony, especially with the Japanese companies, because of how much Microsoft has been flailing in the water out there.
Yeah,
But
Bethesda, I think, is rumored to have like maybe a new Wolfenstein game and a new big kind of like open world game. But I think the rumor here is that it's like like we have our post-apocalyptic game and we have our sword and sorcery game. This is our sci-fi open world game. I don't know if
I mean,
they're
technically Fallout is a
they're
sci-fi
pew-pew
game, but I know
game.
what you mean. More something like Mass Effect-y.
Screw you. You know what I mean.
That also is Fallout.
Yeah, they actually do.
There are
yeah.
guns that go pew 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 in that game. They're great, but they
it's
do.
gonna be like Elder Scrolls in space. Okay, is that better?
This is yes.
Yes, that is. Thank
This
you.
is where
thank you for.
This is where we found out they bought the rights to No Man's
enabling
Sky.
my.
Bethesda have their own conference, so I'm wondering why they'd even bother with
because
that.
you get more exposure.
I guess that's true. And with Ubisoft, I'm expecting the new Assassin's Creed that's set in Egypt, and I'm expecting a Far Cry, I guess, and Rayman Legends Switch port, perhaps. That Ubisoft, didn't they show off that PSVR game where you played as a bird last year? Like the eagle fighting one in Paris, and I don't think that's out yet.
Right, and I mean, we're all expecting Chrono Trigger 2 on the Switch, so...
What, from the Ubisoft announcement?
Yeah, that's the weirdest part.
Yes.
Okay, sure, why not?
Apparently, there's actually rumors that rumors exist.
Weird.
Shit.
Rumorception.
Let's talk about Microsoft then, about what they might have. So, because we spent talking about all these other...
They're going to have a lot of games that are
Sony.
also releasing on Windows 10. That's what they're going to...
See, I'm going to be okay with that if Banjo-3 is part of this. I know there's been... recently, people have been talking about rumours of a Banjo-3. I'm wondering... Like, all their focus seems to be on pirate game, Sea of Thieves, which is also coming to PC.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves,
I'm
I played at last year's E3. It's a fun game, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And while I own an Xbox One, I might just buy it on PC just because so many, you guys, a lot of my real life friends, not everyone has an Xbox One. Everyone has a gaming PC though, so that's kind of to the detriment of Microsoft, is that a lot of the games that they show, because who was it from Microsoft that said that people don't even care about these big single player games now? It's all about multiplayer experiences.
I don't remember.
No, but he specifically are you aware of what I'm talking about, Wolfman? He specifically referenced both of those games after they came out and said, yeah, like those are fine. That's not where the real money is, and there's so few of them. Nobody really wants them. Like, I swear that was. I'll find the article and send it to you when we're done here.
I just want to say that whoever pirates Sea of Thieves has no soul whatsoever. Like, because you're pirating a game about pirates. It's just...
Also, you're going to need to be connected online, so I doubt there's going to be much pirating. But I mean...
Yeah.
You'd also be, like, taking money from Rare, which...
That's true.
More to my point, though, is that if Microsoft is making more games with an online focus and also releasing them for Windows 10... I'm probably going to play them on Windows 10, even though I have an Xbox One, because that's more for couch co-op, for when friends come over, for laying down like in my bed and playing a game. Like, that's what consoles are more for. When I get social, I mean, I know maybe I'm in the minority once, probably because I have a gaming PC, but when I want to play like serious online games, I get on my computer. I can use Discord or Ventrilo or whatever you use. You get better voice chat. Your connection's usually the best connection you're going to have in your house usually is on your computer. The settings are better. You have every control option from mouse to keyboard to motion control. Like, it's a great experience for online. It just is. So that Microsoft, in my opinion, shoots themselves in the foot with that when they're all like, blah.
But that's because, that's just because Nintendo is, the only hardware developer that seems to care about local multiplayer. Which is really frustrating because I feel like that's really the value of
that's what will allow Nintendo
to
stand up in the future where it's just them and Sony running. Because, to be honest, Microsoft are going to put a lot of focus, I think, on the Scorpio this E3, because obviously they've released that recent video that talks about its specs. It comes out this year. That's going to be what they start with, showing off the Scorpio properly. Maybe giving it because isn't the Scorpio a code name, or is that the actual name? I'm not 100% sure, but either way, they'll show off that. They'll show off games running in that to show off how good they look. They might even talk about HoloLens, because that's still a thing that isn't out yet.
Well, but they with HoloLens, they've said that they are going to focus on the commercial aspects of it, so we're not going to see anything as far as games go for a while with that.
Oh, really? So you don't think we'll see Young Conker again?
No, I don't think. I think that as far as being a gaming technology is, I'm not going to say dead, but it's dormant. It's going to be a while. They're going to perfect it for other uses, and then they're going to try to make it more mass market. But they have said Halo 6 is in development. So
yeah, that was the next thing I was going to bring up. I think we're due a new Halo game, a new proper Halo game. And so I think that'll be their God of War Mario Odyssey, because it's Halo, so it's like the only massive IP they really have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we really want to stretch things, we could say Gears, but
we just got a Gears with Gears 4 a year and a bit ago, so I don't think we'll get another Gears anytime soon.
No,
and
definitely
Lionhead is dead, so we're not getting another Fable anytime soon. So apart from that, though, everything else will obviously be... I think maybe it'll be Xbox where we get COD shown off.
You know what I think we might see as far as a third-party game, and I feel like Microsoft is the sort of place you might see it, is Borderlands 3, which has been rumored forever.
That's definitely true.
I think that would be a big game. I'd be excited. I like the Borderlands games.
I'm thinking...
and a new Bioshock game that takes place in the middle of the sun.
Actually, no. What have the developers of Bioshock Infinite made since Infinite? It's got to be something, because it's such a long time. I just feel like it's not a new Bioshock game, obviously. Was it like System Shock and another one of them, or was it something else new entirely? I'm not aware.
No, I think another studio is doing the System Shock 2 remake.
I mean,
maybe
it
we'll
takes
get
2 games, but I don't know who the
Not sure which one it
actual,
was.
like, who the devs are that do that, you know?
Yeah, maybe we'll get something from them then shown off. There are weird rumors going about that Scalebound isn't completely dead, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess E3 would be the place to find out about it. I mean, some places are saying that the game's being done from the ground up by a new studio, which just seems bizarre to me because that makes no marketing sense. That makes no business sense whatsoever. Other people are saying after the backlash, Microsoft have given it another chance, but
you know what?
I don't know.
I could almost see them.
I just don't see
Platinum recycling that into a new game. Like, let's say they introduce Dragon's Wing for the Nintendo Switch.
That depends on how much Microsoft own the system in that, and then how much they're willing to actually sell it off. They might be, but
I feel like Microsoft would more own the intellectual portion of it, but I don't think they'd own the code. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing is that it's not like this is unusual for Platinum, or because like when Resident Evil 4 was in development, it went like through 2 versions, one of which then turned out to be Devil May Cry. That was still all under
Capcom, I guess. This would be like jumping. Yeah, this would be jumping between something else, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
I will also say that the Xbox, we will spend a lot of time on sports games because we always spend a lot of time. Oh, they always do every year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but also, which is also because like the Xbox One is the one in everything console. That's supposed to have everything.
What new multimedia thing could they announce?
Yeah, part of
it had to be something to do with the Scorpio itself, and something specifically that can do that the One can't. All right, guys. Is there anything else then? I guess anything else from the third part, from the non-Nintendo side of things that you think we might see?
You know, there's always things that you don't think about. There's always, you know, new IPs. There's always, you know, like Ubisoft we're talking about in particular. Their smaller releases are always very interesting. You know, like all of a sudden you have a Children of Light, or what was that war game they had?
Yeah.
There's always like really cool, interesting stuff like that.
Valiant Hearts.
There always might be something that you're not expecting that you're all like, oh hey, look, a new Mirror's Edge game. Okay, I guess I'm down with that, you know? Stuff Sony in particular has a lot of IPs, but they tend not to use them for anything. So I'd be like, oh cool, Starhawk. No, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see a new Ape Escape or Medieval.
I would love to see a this is just me like just talking out of nothing. I'd love to see a free-to-play version, because I feel like it's a franchise that would work really well for this, of Twisted Metal, with like the sort of you know, kind of, you know, loot boxes and things like that. Like you could actually, and it would be filled with microtransactions, and people would hate it. But I think that game makes like a lot of sense for that sort of format, because you could just keep introducing new cars over time. You could keep introducing new maps over time, because
you could add special free DLC for Mercedes.
But seriously, that's a game where you don't. There's a lot of games that I feel like don't get made because they're not complicated enough for like modern games, you know? Yeah. And if they do, they try to add too much to it.
It'd be Overwatch Twisted Metal Edition.
Yeah, dude, and I would honestly, or the way Microsoft did Killer Instinct, where, you know, they're like, it starts off with 4 players, and then we'll have seasons of DLC.
Yeah, it's essentially been successful enough that Capcom copied it. So
yeah, with full price games.
Yeah.
Hooray, Capcom. Yeah. Okay, I will say that Capcom's going to announce a very sought after sequel to an older franchise, and it's going to be loaded with DLC and not deliver everything on the day that it launches. That's another thing.
And it's not going to deliver anything on like a critical or like philosophical sense.
Actually, here's one interesting question. Do you think any of the two, Sony and Microsoft, will announce a game that will be kickstarted, like they did with Shenmue 3?
I don't know.
A friend of mine has a theory that Project Rap Rabbit might be helped by Sony and get backing for that announced, because Rap Rabbit isn't doing very well right now as a Kickstarter, but being, you know, made by the guy who did Parappa the Rapper and with that game doing quite well, and the very fact that they specifically mention the other guy did Kataru Man, which is another PlayStation game, instead of mentioning that he did Elite Beat Agents, which is a game he's far more well known for, kind of pushes in the direction that maybe Sony might be secretly behind helping fund this, and if it doesn't meet expectations, Sony are going to fill in the blanks and make it a PlayStation exclusive. Or
I mean, if it's a PlayStation exclusive, then they better do a Parappa cameo in there somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
I think that maybe Keiji Ifune will take it over and turn it into a Mighty Number 9 sequel, obviously.
You know what? I'm going to tell you that when I went to E3 last year, I was super impressed with ReCore. And then I bought it, and I wasn't as impressed. And I actually, a friend of mine, she works for for a company that sets up a lot of the PCs for E3 and other events like this. And when I came back and I was wearing the ReCore shirt, she told me, she's all like, "So how do you do it?" Like she's like, "Yeah." She's all like, "Those games." She's like, "That game has ridiculous specifications, like in order to run well." And I'm like, "Really? It didn't seem that way." And she was right. But I'll also say, just in defense of ReCore, real quick, I know it's not one thing or another, but I actually really like that game, and I don't think there's any game that really is like that. Once all the patches and stuff came in and it was more playable, it's a good game. It kind of feels like a 3D Metroid, and the movement options feel like kind of Mega Man X-ish. It's cool. It just, there wasn't enough to it. And I wonder if Inafune is going to get another shot with somebody, if somebody else is going to, I don't know.
We'll see. We need to see if Mighty Burst, whatever it's called, yeah. Mighty Gunvolt Burst can save the Mighty Number 9 franchise or not.
I wonder if we're going to get, as far as indies go, I wonder if we're going to get more information on Bloodstained.
Probably. We'll get bits of it on the show floor. I don't think we'll get anything in any kind of conference unless there's an indie reel. And I think that's going to be the same for most indie titles, unless Microsoft announces some Minecraft related thing, or there's some exclusive indie deal like what would happen with Plants vs Zombies. That's indie, right? Then we got a few trailers for Bloodstained. I mean, it's been playable quite a few times, so
it was playable at E3 last year, and it was very good, but it was one stage. It was one short stage, so what can you really tell about that?
Well, it was playable at TGS as well, and I'm pretty sure it was probably playable at Bit Summit that just went by, so I imagine it'll probably be playable again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it exists, and what exists is polished and good. It's just that we don't really know much about the full package now, or how much is done,
Yeah. Okay, so, does anyone else have anything else? Because I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about at all was Rockstar.
Are they going to show anything, or will it just be more GTA Online stuff?
Well, Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah, of course, Red Dead 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a focus of somebody somewhere.
Probably Sony. We'll I guess we'll see. We might see Red Dead 2 stuff, unless they've said otherwise.
Yeah.
And then EA is just going to be like, make money now.
I mean, BioWare got to be up to something. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out on what they're doing and I'm not aware of it. Could be something new. Could be something Dragon's Age related.
I think it's either Dragon Age or something new. I think they did their 3 Mass Effect games and they are now moving on to something else.
Hopefully that's something at EA, because EA need to talk about stuff. On that note, I think it's time to wrap this all up. So I want to thank you all for coming on to talk about this. And Spazzy, you're going to be at E3, so so anyone who's going out there, keep an eye out for him, wearing his Source Gaming t-shirt representing the brand. Say hello. And if you liked what you heard, then hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Keep up with our E3 coverage. If Smash for Switch gets announced, we're going to be going all over that. And
extra ham.
Yeah. We will obsessively.
We're going to be pushing everything up to turbo speed. So
we're going to make Game Explain look lazy.
So yeah, keep an eye out for all of that stuff. Let us know what your E3 predictions are, or share your E3 bingo cards if you haven't already. Like, just check on @AllSource Gaming on Twitter to find the bingo cards that Nerbion made. And follow us all on Twitter if you want to keep up with us individually. I'll put all the links down below. And yeah, E3 season is either just begun or is just about to begin. And I hope it all goes really well, and we hype responsibly. With that in mind, keep your sources in check, and have a nice day.
All right, later, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a nice day.